Hi guys, this is Tynrael. I noticed something after the latest release of Galileo's Planet Pack that nobody has spoken of in the forums. I'm kind of surprised. So I'm going to take Bob here, and I'm going to send him on a one-way mission into the sun. That's right, I said into the sun. If you look at the Delta V charts, it says that it takes like several thousand Delta V to get to a low orbit, and then like 50,000 Delta V to... Let me double check that just to be sure. Yeah, like 5,900 to get to the elliptical orbit, and then 54,500 to get to low zero orbit. I'm not going to orbit zero. I'm going to rocket Bob right into zero. So this is actually the first time I've escaped into an orbit in Kerbal Space Program in over a year. I took a long break, and I just wanted to mess with this. The rocket is a little wobbly, but it's going to do what I want. Instead of slowing down to get closer to zero, I'm going to accelerate away from it. Like so. So, by spending a few thousand Delta V to push my apoapsis a lot further away, I'll be able to cancel out my orbital velocity. So I'm just gonna do that. I love time warp so much. This is so many years away, it's ridiculous. Watching all the planets spin around in their orbits. The sun is so far away, it's just a tiny little dot. But as you can see, by getting that far away from zero, it's going to cost me less than 300 meters a second of delta V to cancel out my orbital velocity. I hate it when I forget to change from prograde to retrograde after I flip 180 degrees and it starts flipping my rocket around. Someday I'll remember to change that before I stop time warping, because that maintains position while the nav ball rotates under it. But I'll just cancel my velocity here. And I'm left with a straight line directly into the sun. Bob will not be returning after this mission, and you can see that I've got a whole bunch of Delta V left, over 3,000 meters a second left. So I didn't need as much fuel, but one thing I didn't mention earlier is I'm only using stock parts for this craft. So I don't have a fuel switch to swap to better tanks, so I had to use the aircraft fuel tanks to contain liquid only. I'm just really nervous about time warping too fast and plummeting into the sun before I stop to actually gauge what's going on. Let me disconnect that stuff. I should have done that a long time ago. You can see that my orbital speed directly towards zero is increasing quite rapidly, and it will continue to do so the closer I get to the sun. Gotta make sure I'm facing the right way before I deploy my heat shield. And then all my radiators. It's pretty basic, but I just want to see if I can get close enough to 0 to get some science from the biomes that I saw were added in this latest update. I've never tried flying to the sun before, so I don't know how dangerous it is. And I think this is the first time I've ever really made liberal use of radiators. I'm not sure I've actually ever used the active ones that have energy or require energy. I meant to include some of the radioactive isotopes to provide power because I know that my solar panels are going to fry at some point. But I could quite literally blow up before I would run out of energy anyway because I have 4,000 stored extra charge on a battery. Slowly getting closer. I miss a camera mod that lets me realign the way my camera's facing. I don't know why I can't do that anymore. It might be a setting in the configuration I have to change. Because I thought it was stock, but I wasn't seeing it. Well, how close can I get to 0? Let's find out. Right now, my science experiments are only for high in space above 0. Looking at where its atmosphere is, 1.8 million meters away. That's pretty close. I don't think I'll be able to do that. I see some of my radiators or my solar panels are starting to heat up. Spin. Spin away that heat. It works. Spin, spin. Spin, 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 spin. Alright, I'm not going to do this in 5 hours and 15 minutes real time, so I don't want to cheat it by warping and not being impacted by the heat, but I don't want to wait so long, so I'm going to get close, stop, and gauge the situation. Spin! So things are heating up at this distance, but it's not enough to blow up my craft when I'm spinning. And I've now moved down into space near 0, so I'm in the low orbit. Just under 3 hours away from impact. Let's warp a little closer. Look how fast we're going now. Still getting science materials in low orbit. Going 104,000 meters a second. Things are getting really hot, but not quite exploding. 156 million meters above 0. Don't know what happened, but I'm back on stability assist instead of aiming at my prograde. Oh, stuff's blown up. Cooling is starting to cap. Materials are still giving me low orbit. Don't get dizzy. I'm sure Bob has probably puked all over the inside of that heat protective cargo bag. Now you might not be able to see it from this vantage point, but I have my heat shield connected to a large fuel tank that's just depleted of fuel because it has more mass so it can help distribute some of the heat. Everything's blowing up. Everything explodes. I'm pretty sure Bob is still okay. I guess I can't switch to Bob as an active vessel. I thought I would be able to. But maybe I can't because he's in a seat. I guess that makes sense. I'm controlling this vessel from a probe core that I have in the larger bay above Bob. Let's do an EVA report from Bob. Space just above Ciro's equatorial zone. You know what that means? That means we're getting some science related to the biomes. It's kind of not as good as I'd hoped. It's kind of like if you have a Kerbal hold on to a ladder while you're flying over something, you get a better EVA report. It's not genuine science, but it's new biome science. I got it. Now it's just, let's see how long he can last. He's getting pretty close. You can see I've got a whole lot of charge left, so I was never really in danger of running out of power to power the radiators. And then I finally change it back to prograde for assistance. I can't believe I went so long without setting that up. Still space near Ciro, and still getting the same EVA report. Oh, and everything has blown up. 103.7 million meters. That is my new record. New being the only, and probably the only time I'll ever try it. So I hope you found that interesting. I'm curious to see what types of vessels people might build to actually try and get some more of this science. Thanks for watching.